Hey everyone, and welcome to Peter Tears Stuff. And for this episode, I had no idea what to do, and then someone just suggested, how about Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? And I said, yeah, that's a great idea. So we're going to do that. There's a lot of Arnold movies. And I have seen most of them, but not all of them. There'll be a couple that I won't put in because I've not seen them. And of course, some people might say this is a foolish thing to do without seeing all of them. But like, I don't have that much time, guys. Like, I love Arnold growing up. He's got a lot of great movies, but he has made some stuff that's just not been that interesting as well. So here we go. Where does one begin in this illustrious filmography? Well, I think what you do is you start with the Terminator, because the Terminator is the obvious thing to start with. And you put that bad boy straight into the S tier, because the Terminator is the best movie there. That is right. I'm saying it's better than Terminator 2. Now, I love Terminator 2. I am not saying a bad word about Terminator 2. But as I've gotten older, because I used to prefer Terminator 2. I used to prefer Terminator 2 when I was a kid. And as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate and realize that the Terminator is a big part of why I love movies, and a big part of what I love about other genres. Even my love of the slasher genre kind of comes back to the Terminator. So really cool stuff. The cyberpunk horror aspect of it, everything it's like inspired, everything that's inspired in my love of cinema, the Terminator is S tier. From there, did I do the other Terminator movies? Did I sort of just run down the Terminator franchise first and get that done? Is Terminator 2 also S tier? I think there's an argument to be made that it is. Let's go to the other end. Where is Terminator Genesis? Because that's F tier. Terminator Genesis is, well, let's be honest, garbage. Terminator Genesis is, it does everything wrong. It's kind of the epitome of garbage sequel that just tries to recreate moments from the more successful films. It's got a nonsense plot, and I will not be distracted by the live chat who are trying their best to do it, and it's not happening, Fletcher. It's not happening. Terminator 3 is not a good movie. Terminator 3 is like D tier, I'd say. I'm going to put it in D tier just now. We'll put it in D tier and we'll see how he feels. I feel like Terminator 3 is a really bad movie. It's worse than I remembered it. When me and Tara did it on the Ace last year, I was like, man, this is even worse than I remember. Is Terminator Dark Fate on this here bad boy list? I think this might have been made. This template that I'm using might have been made before Dark Fate came out. I think it was. Yeah, so there's no Dark Fate here. I'll tell you where I'd put that though. Dark Fate's probably like C tier, just for the record. Where do I go to next? I'm going to be bold. And then I'm going to say Commando is A tier. Commando's not high art, right? We know this. We know Commando is not some high art piece of filmmaking, but Commando is a big part of my childhood. It's so beautifully simple. I didn't even realize the daughter in it was going to grow up to be like Alyssa Milano. It's just so simple. I love him stocking up. I love that it's all him building up to him being the most Arnold version of Arnold there ever was, and going into an island and taking on the entire island. I love Commando. I mean, he starts the movie carrying an entire tree, right? Commando is action movie boiled down to its simplest perfection. Great one-liners as well, might I add. Commando is A tier. That's maybe harder than I was expecting, actually, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to put high up. I think Predator is also A tier. I think Predator also goes up in the A tier. I love Predator. It's a movie that, again, I loved as a child, but as I've grown older, it's actually become an even better movie because I realised just how tight the direction is in it. You do a slasher movie, essentially. You're doing a movie where it's, the slasher villain picking off the characters one by one, but instead of being a bunch of teenagers who are idiots who you expect to not be able to fight back, you actually do it with the biggest, baddest, most muscly, ridiculous 80s characters ever. And the fact that it can take out all these guys and makes it, technically the baddest villain on the planet, right? That makes sense. So Predator goes in the A rank. So I'm going to sort of define the B tier here by saying that Last Action Hero is B tier. Now, I am not in any way saying that Last Action Hero is not good here, because I actually really like Last Action Hero. I think Last Action Hero is fun. It's a little bit bloated, a little bit overlong, but I think it's funny. I love it poking jokes at all the Arnold movies. I love the villains in the movie. The way it sort of, like, even something as simple as how it does the opening credits of the fake movie as being the most Arnold thing ever. I really love, and Arnold is pretty delightful in it. So I really like Last Action Hero. I really do. But it's definitely weaker than his highest, cream of the crop movies. Solid B tier. I'm sort of defining the B tier by putting that there. Right, Terminator 2 is the S rank, right? I like Terminator 1 more, but Terminator 2 is still S rank. There's really no debating. I don't really have to say anything about Terminator 2. Everyone loves Terminator 2. You know why it's there. Let's not pretend. Let's do a bad one. His return to movies after being in office for such a long time was The Last Stand, and I saw it in theaters, and it was such a dull-ass movie. It's probably in the same ballpark as Terminator 3, so I'm going to put that in the D tier. What's this movie here? Whatever it is, I've not seen it, but I don't know what this one is. I've never seen Around the World 80. I assume it's just a cameo he's got in that, because I didn't realise that was an Arnold movie. Same with this. I don't know what this is. There's a couple of weird picks here that he obviously had small parts in that I just don't know that well. I think Eraser is solid B tier Arnold. I like Eraser. I enjoy it. Definitely not one of his best, but I definitely think it belongs next to Last Action Hero, kind of in that range. Probably his last fun movie, I'd say, because obviously that was sort of mid-90s. That was kind of when it kind of started to fall apart for his career in terms of his movies being fun. But no, I dig Eraser. You got James Caan in there as the villain, which is really good fun. Is this a bold choice to say Twins is A tier? Because I think Twins is A tier. I love Twins. I think Twins is a delightful comedy with heart, and him and DeVito's chemistry is kind of wonderful, honestly. You kind of realize that Arnold could do something that wasn't just an action movie. He still punches a few guys in it. Alternatively, Junior is like, I don't know, I'll go with C tier for Junior. It's not good, but it's not the worst thing ever. Like, I think it's a better realization of what it's supposed to be than Terminator 3 The Last Stand is. There's definitely a couple of tough ones in it, because Kindergarten Cop, for example, I love Kindergarten Cop. It's not as good as Twins, though, and I'm trying to decide if Kindergarten Cop is the bottom end of the A tier or the high end of the B tier, and I feel like it's probably the high end of the B tier. I think I have to say no. Like, I still love the B tier. I want to make that clear. The B tier are still movies that I really like, but I think I have to put Kindergarten Cop in the B tier. I might just move that around a little bit. Kindergarten Cop is one of his most quotable movies. Like, Kindergarten Cop, gave us, it's not a tumor. It gave us, there is no bathroom. It gave us, who is your daddy and what does he do? Like, Kindergarten Cop is great. The only problem with Kindergarten Cop is that the last 20 minutes it gets really serious and treats it like a more dark action movie because the kid's actually in danger. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I think it's decent enough at what it's doing at the end, but it's not necessarily why I love the rest of the movie. So it's kind of got a weird tone shift. But I'm used to it being that way now. But I love Kindergarten Cop. Kindergarten Cop's delightful. I think The Sixth Day is C tier material. It's not a good movie, but I get more out of watching it than I do the D tier stuff. So I'll put that in there. I think Maggie, likewise, is C tier. Like, I respected what they were going for with Maggie, but it was kind of dull, and I never really sort of bought into the drama of it. What is left? Running Man, I really like. I love Running Man, but in order to make these tiers actually have meaning, I think I equally have to put that in the B tier. At the front. Running Man, I love it. I love the music. I love the cheesy villains. You get Jesse the Body Ventura in there again. Obviously he's in Predator as well, but I love Running Man, and I because this is why I keep really emphasizing I like the B tier movies. Like, I really like those movies, but I have to make the A and S feel more special. Okay, and this is my way of doing it. End of Days sucked balls, so I think we can put that in the E tier quite happily. Collateral Damage, likewise, I think goes into the D tier. I don't really have much to say about those two. I saw them once back roughly when they came out and feel really nothing from them. They're kind of drab movies, right before he quit acting for a long time. Obviously, Terminator 3 was right after these two as well, so really get nothing out of those. Looking at the rest, you got Batman and Robin, which is kind of a weird one, and it's obviously garbage, but it's very entertaining garbage. Like, now that you can watch it without being mad at it, you can kind of laugh at how silly it is. I'll be honest, I would rather watch that again than anything in the D tier. I don't think I can quite put it in the C tier, though, so I'm just going to put it at the top of the D tier. But I would rather watch that again for the humour of it than any of these other movies. Now, Jingle All the Way is a contentious one, because I kind of love Jingle All the Way. So Jingle All the Way's getting that B tier, baby. And I'm going to go as far to say that I like it more than at least Eraser. Maybe Kindergarten, or not Kindergarten, maybe that Last Action Hero? Honestly, I might. I kind of love Jingle All the Way. I like it more than Kindergarten Cop, though. I like it more than Kindergarten Cop. Total Recall's an interesting one, actually, because Total Recall, had I done this like a month or two ago, before I rewatched it for the Ace, I might have had it kind of lower than what I'm going to put it here. But watching it again for the first time in a long-ass time, I kind of respect it a lot more than I did before. So I think again, we're going to the B tier. And I think we're actually going to go to... I'm probably still going to put it behind The Running Man, and that may be a controversial pick or placement for a lot of people. I realize that Total Recall is probably a better... It's got a better reception. People hold it in higher regard than Running Man. Running Man, though, I have such a love for because I have such a nostalgia for it. And while I did watch Total Recall as a kid, I think a lot of Total Recall flew over my head as a kid, and it's not until as an adult that I've really come to respect it more. But it still has some wonderful stuff. Like, you know, when I watched it for the Ace recently, I was like almost pleasantly surprised at how good it was, having kind of forgotten or maybe not respecting it as much as I should have in the past. There's a lot going in the B tier. I feel like Arnold has a really good quality level from the 80s and 90s, and that's kind of what the B tier represents. But then there's the special ones that kind of rise above it. Is it lower A tier? I do love True Lies. Hold on. I might put it at the top of the A tier. I love how some of these posters are very similar. They're just Arnold's face. True Lies is really good. I wish I could watch True Lies again, but they still don't have a proper, 1080p Blu-ray master of it. Never mind with the fact that we're in 4K territory. There's a couple of D tier movies here for me. I've only seen ones because I wasn't that into them, and that is Raw Deal and Red Heat. These are kind of like his weird movies from the 80s that I just kind of feel like they kind of just fill out the list, right? I kind of look at his filmography and go, yeah, these ones are just kind of there. They don't really do much for me. Now, what's left that I've actually seen? I've seen the Expendables movies, which whoever made this template did not include the first one. He's got a cameo in the first one, but that's fair. So I've seen the Expendables movies, and I have seen... I've only seen parts of Conan. I know people are waiting for the Conan placement. I've never seen Conan all the way through. It's never appealed to me. So I got to apologise there. So yeah, it's just the Expendables movies that I've got to put in there. Expendables 3 is kind of watchable C tier, but not much more. Expendables 2, I think, is the best of the three movies. It's still a little bit not quite exactly what you want from it, but it's the closest it gets, and I think it's got the best plot of the three. Definitely has the best violence of the three, because I think 3 was PG-13 for some bizarre reason. So Expendables 2, I'm still going to put C tier, but I might put it at the top of the C tier. And there we go. That is all the Arnold movies that I have seen all the way through, barring Terminator Dark Fate, of course, which I assume just came out after this was made, which I would probably put in the C tier as well. I'd probably say Dark Fate is not as good as Expendables 2, but is better than the rest of the C tier. That'd be what I'd say. So a lot of rough stuff. Genesis gets the special award for being the only F tier movie, and maybe this is not a huge deal or a huge surprise, I should say, that I've got Terminator 1 and 2 in the S tier. Maybe that's a boring placement, but honestly, like, I do think there's a line between them, right? There's a gap between those two and the rest of his movies. But I'll make it very clear: everything in the B tier and up, I love. I grew up cherishing these movies in the top 3 rows, cherishing them. Exception maybe Total Recall, which I didn't love till maybe a bit later. But the rest of them I grew up cherishing. There you go. That is me having tiered the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. And yeah, so hopefully you had fun watching this, and maybe you'll agree or disagree with some of my picks. Maybe you'll be mad at some of my placements or think that I've given too much love to some stuff, but this definitely represents how I feel about these movies. So thank you very much. You can support, of course, everything we do at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. You can like and subscribe and all that jazz. All of it does help, but thank you once again for watching. I always appreciate it. And I suppose the only way I can really end this is by saying you're one ugly mother